to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. Hello, this is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. And we're going to give you a review of the NXT show on August 9th. And we'll just jump straight into it. And, it starts off with a bunch of hot takes. And hot takes in the old days, if you got a hot take on air or on where you were doing this on a video hot take, they would tell you got 20 seconds, you got 15 seconds, you got 45 seconds, whatever it may be. And you have to use it to the best of your ability. Because back in the days, if you didn't put butts in the seats, you didn't get paid very much. So you had to make good use out of these hot takes. But anyway, they start off with a review of the prior week's NXT Ladies Championship. And that leads up to a bunch of hot takes. And it's Trick Williams and Mello doing one about their rounds match. And then there's Wesley, of course, talking about being in the rounds match. And then there's Cora Jade talking about being Cora Jade. And Zoe Stark coming out with her Jack self. And then Tony D does his about his get-together with Escobar. So anyway, it goes into the opening match. And you got, Kiana James and Nikita Lyons. So you got Miss Lyons and Miss James. Now this is, how can I put this in a nice way? The match was okay. Both of these girls definitely need work. I'm trying to be nice, man. Miss James definitely needs some work on her in-ring ability, her outside, her walk to the ring. It looks like everything else that she's got. She jumped Miss Lyons after the match, so all that's good. But Miss Lyons. I was really against all the people talking all the crap on that Twitter thing. And they were really getting down on her. And I hate to see anybody get ganged on like that. So I looked into it a little bit, and I've been kind of watching her. And you know what? I kind of agree. She just seems a little awkward, and I never liked the fact that she kept doing that. I'm not a cookie cutter figure. I don't fit in. That doesn't blow crap with me. So. She did one good move, a kick to the head, and then she's doing her superpose. But, man, she kept hollering. And that seemed to be a theme tonight with the lady wrestlers. Before they did something, they would go, and a lot of hollering, just angry hollering, like tooth getting pulled holler. And I hate that for anyone. But anyway, that match is, but they go straight into the Creed brothers hanging with Apollo Crews. And, Apollo's doing pretty good on here. And, so they're hanging in the back, going over some tape. And who comes to comes into the room but Roderick Strong. And he does not seem happy with having Apollo there and being an influence on the Creeds. So he pretty much gets to mouthing at Apollo, and Apollo defends himself and starts mouthing back. So what does that lead to? They got to have a match. So that sets up a match later on, and then they go into Miss Last Legend. Now this is a ex-WNBA star that wants to do. She purposely wants to go. I mean, I've heard Dwight Howard wants to come in and train and possibly give it a try. Kevin Nash and there's been other people in the past, Ron Fuller and back in the day that were basketball players and came in. Von Wagner now, so and then the list can go on, but Who knows? But what are they doing with Miss Legend? They letting her, like, they had her talk show. They had her, like, what, fashion tips. Athlete. I don't know. They got to figure something out with her though. And she's, burning somebody's ear up, and then Pretty Deadly comes and talks good to her, and she talks good to them, and they pretty much say that they're going to come on out in a match later on look, I can't even think of the guy's name off the top of my head now. That's how I think of Miss Legend, what they're doing with her. I mean, I hate to see anybody get kind of pinholed into, well, Pretty Deadly seems to be trying to pinhole themselves there with that outfit. So I guess that may not be a bad thing. All right, so they go back into the rounds match, So, all right, wait a minute. I got some rules here. Here's a round match. You got 6 3-minute rounds, 20 seconds between each round. A pinfall or submission wins the match. Once a fall occurs, the round ends, and the first to 2 wins. In an event of a disqualification or knockout, the round is over. All right. I don't know who thought of this match or who came up with it. I mean, I've seen back in the day we had Rocky Johnson, had some matches like that with Lawler, boxer versus wrestler, and Rocky Johnson. Yes, that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's father. But they had some of those matches, and I just wasn't a fan of it. In this match, they didn't go very long. They went into the first round, and of course the gloves got to come off, and Trick gets the first win, and it looks like he's going to pull it out because Trick has got the look, man. He has got the look, but his in-ring ability, I'm not too sold on yet. He needs more. Fermenting, because now West seemed to kind of carry this match, because he had to. All Trick could do was, holler a couple things, stand and look good for the camera, and then use Mello to play off of. So Mello loads the glove up. So, you got to load the glove up. Somebody, if you're going to have a boxing match, somebody's got to have a loaded glove, man. That's the whole point of the referee checking you. At the start of the match, referee, you ever seen that where they check your the bottom of your shoes, your belt right around your waist area, check your arms, make sure you ain't got grease on your head, So Mello's loads the glove up, and Trick hits him. It looks like it's going to be 2-0, but no. West comes back, wins the second, and then wins the match. And West carried that match. West looked good. Let's just put it that way. And Trick needs some work. But after the match, Mello gets out and going, I expected an hour-long marathon match and all this stuff. So he's got time. So he gets out there and starts talking about Nathan Frazier. And about that time, Nathan's music comes up, so they're all looking for him to come running down the aisle, of course, and he doesn't. But who's standing behind him? But the man with 117 letters in his name. What is it? I always want to say this wrong. Giovanni. We're going to call him Mr. G, but he is standing there for his signature move as he stands there, and that's a random snapshot of him. He ends up not so much like a theory taking the selfies, but it's like he's posing. Like he always ends up in a perfect position and looks perfect. His teeth are perfect. His hair is perfect. His clothes are perfect. Everything. So they do the snapshot, which Mello gets in, and Mello and him go back and forth, and they're pretty much setting it up that. Each one needs to see if they're who needs to be the champ. Is pretty much they're saying, and they do pretty good on that. And of course, every little disagreement like that has to have a sneak attack. You got to have a sneak attack. Everybody loves a good sneak attack. So, of course, he tries that, and Mello comes back, and they go back and forth. But Mr. G comes out on top. But they're setting up a good little match at Heatwave. So. Then after that, let me see. Let me get down here. After that, they go into a Chase U promo. Yeah. Now the Chase U promo. It's with Thea Hale. I believe that's her name. Thea Hale. Yeah, the little young girl that could go anywhere, but she chose Chase U. But they They had Ariana Grace. All right, now when they debuted her, I thought they were going to try to, go in some kind of angle towards whatever that family, OJ, or no, 18 of them, or 8 of them, or Kardashians. Thought they were going to go with that. Did I really just do that? All right, Matt, you may have to edit. But anyway, I thought they were going to go with that angle, but they didn't. And she's got some skills in the ring, but she's got a legit black eye, and so they got to work that in. You got to. They got to work it in. There ain't no makeup gonna cover that up. And they got some good makeup people there, but anyway. So they say that Miss Hale was supposed to catch a ball or something like that and didn't catch it, and it hit her in the eye. Miss Grace wants to sue, and then Mr. Chase jumps up, Professor jumps up, and he slams in. Of course, he might say a couple of words that need to be bleeped out, and they say we settle things in the ring. So that sets up for a match. And you got Mr. Solo, all laid up in the trainer's room with Cameron Grimes, and that's when he gets the bad news that he's on the shelf for the week, not cleared, and lets Cameron know that, I'm going to get this respect, man. I'm going to get this respect talk for me and you. And Cameron, look, I give kudos to, I love good writing. Good storytelling, good writing is key in wrestling. So they're trying to build something with Gacy and, I'm sorry, I got a little something on my throat. Let me take a drink of water here real quick. There's no editing in this. I try to go straight through. But anyway, they're trying to build a little something with Cameron and Gacy. And so Solo tells him that. And then, of course, he goes, thanks or whatever, and he leaves. He just kind of walks away. He's kind of like they had in the old days when I was growing up, they had a TV show called Kung Fu. And the guy he was an Oriental gentleman, and he just walked through America, or walked everywhere, and had an adventure each week. But he had like I'll make a reference to it here in a minute, I think, with something else. But he walks the countryside and rights wrongs and gives knowledge. So, but he has this faraway look in his eye, and that's what Cameron's kind of got right now. So, well, then they go into the Roderick Strong Apollo match, and Roderick Strong, it's apparent that the Creed brothers are not at his side because they're not really digging him lately. They're doing some good writing with that kind of, building a little bit. The Creed brothers, they can't portray it with their face like other guys tell a story with their face yet. They are as stiff as the Road Warriors, but that is what that is. Look, everybody loved Road Warriors. They were stiff, but all the wrestlers hated to work with them, but they loved to get paid at the ticket window. So the Creed brothers, and they remind me actually, the Road Warriors and the Steiner brothers, of how stiff they are. But anyway, Roderick Strong and Apollo have a good match. It actually is a good match. They go tit for tat, man. A mat wrestling, just really move for move, and I was pleasantly surprised, man. Apollo looks like he's really taking his role seriously at NXT, and he got the win in this match, but it was a really, really good match. Mr. Strong did very well on his outside and inside of the ring, everything. His work, making himself look like he was about to fall down. At times it didn't look real fakish, how some people can. I mean, it looked really good. So, like I said, Apollo wins that match, and afterwards you can hear Mr. Strong hollering pretty much, "Where are they?" And it goes into Miss Valentina and Yolissa, Miss Leon and Miss France, I believe it is, with Sangha. What is a Sangha anyway? Well, he's big enough, I ain't going to ask him. But Sangha, I guess they're portraying as this wise man, kind of like the Kung Fu reference I mentioned earlier. He's just solving. He seems to always end up, whether it be in a lounge, anywhere he's at, he seems to be very cool, well-dressed, and always has the perfect opinion. He has the perfect advice to give. But the champs come over to him, Miss Katina Chance, and Miss Caden Carter. So Miss Carter and Miss Chance come over and kind of tell him that, hey, look, you're ready. We believe in you, and we'll give you a shot. And of course, when they walk away, they tell Sangha that they don't think that they're ready. And he says, I once knew 2 women like that. And of course, they were like, who? No, who? Oh, terrible, I did that. Anyway, they said, who? And he said, the champs. And I knew that, and I will help you. Come follow me. And that's the way that ended. All right, so, and by I'm sorry, Sangha, I just like saying that. They go to another promo with the Creed brothers and DK, and they're going over some tape, and they're looking back a few weeks, going, "Hey, man, in this 3-man tag match that we lost, what?" And about that time, Roderick comes in, and he's just ticked. He's PO'd and TO'd and whatever you can say, and he's wanting to know why they weren't there, and he tells them well, Roderick told him earlier the reason he wasn't there the prior week was he was testing them. Yeah. That's it. I'm testing it. So, and he said they passed. So this week when he come back in, Julius said, hey, we were testing you. And you passed. But like he brought it up, he didn't pass because he didn't win. So good promo. He's hollering. Raising Kane picks up the computer, slams it to the ground. So anytime you have audio damage, I'm for it. So anyway, they go from that basically over to Escobar driving down a beautiful, probably Miami or somewhere in Florida, ocean on both sides, in a nice car, dressed to the T's, and just, he makes a phone call saying, hey, look, man, if I make the signal, you got to bring the cavalry. So, which is setting up for Tony D in the sit down, And I've just put this as a side note on my notes. This is going to show how much I'm really interested in this. But they either before or after the sit down, they do Tiffany Stratton walks into a dark room, gets beat up. Wendy Chu says, nah. Okay, that's pretty much my review on that interview. But then they go to the sit down, man, and look, the setting is beautiful. A lit fountain, and probably a couple $100,000 worth of a fountain. They're on a beautiful estate, and it's what Mullet Manor aspires to be. But now they're on a beautiful place. I mean, it's only lit to show the curves, the sexiness of the place. They got a table set up, 2 chairs, and it's Tony D's there, and here comes Escobar, and they have the sit down, and Tony's in a real nice car too. I think it was a Challenger or something like that. It was a really nice car. But they have the sit down, and they both agree that they can't work together, and Tony wants them to come back to work. Escobar says no. So what they come up with is an old-fashioned loser leave town match. And back in the day, man, some of the best matches I loved was the loser leave town, the hair matches, there was all kinds of stuff like that, man. I have been in a round building with 10,000 people hollering at 2 guys down in a little ring, and one of them was getting their hair cut. And you thought he was the most embarrassed sucker. And then as I got older, I realized, man, if I should have looked around at the crowd and went, boy, he's getting paid a lot of money for this haircut. But, yeah, so they're setting up a good old-fashioned loser leave town match that if Escobar loses, he's out of NXT, but the family has to stay. And, and if not, if he wins, then he gets everything back. So it's the glass slipper kind of deal there. So, hey, that might work. It might definitely work. So, I mean, it's setting up for Heatwave. So then they go back to the 2 poor gentlemen that had to listen to Miss Legend earlier. And it's Malik Blade and Mr. Ophi. And I'm not even going to attempt his first name, but Mr. Ophi and Mr. Blade are going against Pretty Deadly from earlier when Lash was burning their eardrums up. But The match kind of surprised me. Now everybody knows Pretty Deadly is good. They're out of the ring interviews. I'm sure go a lot better in Europe than they do here. But everybody loves a smart aleck Europeaner. Everybody loves a smart aleck Europeaner, and so yeah. I mean, if you can make somebody throw a $12 popcorn at you, you're doing good. So the Pretty Deadly is pretty close to a call-up, I would think, to the Knicks roster. But the guys, Malik and Mr. Ophi come out. They give the glasses to a kid. You know, he's got sunglasses on. He gives them to a kid. And it's a good match, man. Blade and Ophi are really, really good. They surprised me. I have not heard a lot of their vocals. I hadn't heard their promos or nothing like that. Of course, when they just got camera time to be on with Legend, so they didn't really have a chance to talk. And but if they get that down, because that's the only thing I think holding them back. Both of them are going to be good singles wrestlers. But Pretty Deadly wins the match. Of course, Pretty Deadly starts making fun of the good old boys, the tag team champs now. Just a good old boy. But Briggs and Jensen, of course, and they got to come out with their sidekick, and then. They go to stop a chair shot in the ring. Like one of them jumps up on the apron and goes to stop, grab the chair before he hits. I believe it was Malik, and you know how it is. It's the typical. Oops, he moves out of the way. Malik actually is trying to hit one of the Pretty Deadly. He hits the champ. The champ falls back, knocks his partner down, which knocks the sidekick down. So everybody down, man. Everybody down. And then, of course, Last Legend comes out and jumps on the sidekick. So everybody's kind of laid out. And Lash, when she's jumping on the girl, she's doing it right in front of Jensen and Briggs, man. Just like Briggs and them are sitting there like they both got really bad toothaches or something. I don't know. But and then from there, they go into Cameron just trying to leave, man. All he wants to do is go home, man. That's all he wants to do. Somebody has to say something smart, and luckily the security was there, but right before he walks out the door, here comes Gacy and the Dyad, and he asks him pretty much, where you going, man? And he goes, I'm going home, man. I'm just brother, trying to go home. And he goes, well, you gonna go home to your wife? Yeah, that awkward silence right there, that's really good, because that means they have dropped a time bomb in a interview or a promo that's going to make you remember something in a later date, which I did not mention this, and actually it just dawned on me when I was talking about this, but when Apollo was doing his interview before a commercial, he's coming out to go to fight Roderick. They have him like, he's smiling, and then they have, how they put like the cloud above your head, and they're like, he's thinking this. And when they did that thought of what he was thinking, that's a lot to say. It was a bunch of, like the Creed brothers, or a bunch of mangled bodies on the floor or on the apron and on the ring mat, all distraught and looked whooped, so like he had just whooped everybody, and then he just kind of goes, don't know what I was thinking, and walks away. Well, that's a little time bomb seed, and that's what they did right there with you going home to your wife? See that awkward silence? That's just cool, man. And later on they do, with Mr. Waller does a little interruption of Apollo doing the whoop whoop. I've been wearing it out here lately, and so he comes in. They pretty much let him know, we don't like you, man. So that, what that's going to lead up to. So then we lead into the main event of the night. The main event. And of course, wait a minute. I almost forgot this. I didn't write this down, but when I saw on my note where it said Mondi Rose, that they did a old-fashioned, I call it an old-fashioned pre-territorial type video. And what I mean by that, back in the old territory days, when you were coming into an area, like say you're going to lose a loser leave town match in Florida, and you're getting ready to go into the Atlanta area or the Memphis area, they would ask you to do a promo, or sometimes it was just back in the old days, you would just call in on a telephone excuse me, and they would just tape it. But they would do a travel video. So that's what this kind of looked like. They were coming into a new area. So maybe they're resetting their career without Mandy Rose. So Toxic, one of them's in a bar, and I think JC's in a bar, and the other's in a music store. And of course, they got they're jamming out, both of them, to some music. One's in a seedy bar, like an after-hours bar, having a cocktail. And at the end of her little spot, she throws the glass on the ground and walks out like a Billy Badass. And the other lady that's in the record store, they were having her go through the records, and she was talking about heavy metal and rock, and I was like, if they let this woman pull up a George Michael album, I'm gonna just lose it. But no, if they're gonna showcase an album, they did do a classic. They brought up some Led Zeppelin. So overall, I thought the Toxic Attraction promo was freaking well done. Man, it was done with the quality of the sit down earlier, man. The video stuff that these guys can do nowadays, and I got to say on NXT, it seems like they're really showcasing that a little bit more. But man, it was a both sets, or both atmospheres were great, and the camera shots and everything were great. But anyway, they bring out Mandy Rose to do color commentary. And normally, Mandy's been fairly good on the mic, but tonight she seemed to drop the ball. It just didn't seem, her best was left towards the end, put it that way. But they have Zoe Stark and Cora Jade match. Can't get it out. But Zoe, man, her midsection, I'm 6'3", 260, and I bet you if I reared back and hit her in her stomach, she'd probably laugh at me. This girl is jacked, doing some serious cardio. And that means, I'm proud of people that can do that, because I have to live vicariously through you. But the match was pretty good. The whole premise of the match was Mandy had talked to Cora that said that, hey, you win, you get the title shot. And because Starks has got a title shot. So during the Mandy talking during color, she mentions that Jade was cool because she takes her hand-me-downs and listens to her, and Zoe doesn't. So that's the premise of this, where they were going with it. But the match was a good match. It's a solid B match, man. The time-wise, the way both girls work together, the using Mandy on the outside of the ring, everybody did what they were supposed to do. So everything went good. Of course, they're going to have Zoe win to set up for the pay. I almost said it again, man. Pay-per-view. No, the next big attraction. So Zoe wins after a hard-fought match, and Cora rolls out of the ring. So Zoe's looking at her, and you know the deal. You know what they're going to do, right? Mandy slips off them high heel shoes and slips under the bottom rope and is going to attack Zoe from behind. Nope, doesn't happen. Zoe catches her, uses the same move, the same finishing moves that she just used on Cora, and that is pretty much how the show comes to an end. And I have to give the show a B-, man. It was a good show overall. I think the writing is good. Hey, guys, what do you think? Is Triple H having him back in control? Is it going to make a difference? Is he going to make sure his pet project, the NXT, is taken care of? How's he going to do on the other shows? How is it going to affect it? There is a ripple in the water that we've never felt before. Because these guys aren't clowning around, man. They're making some changes, and look, they just brought back somebody that they just brought him back. So, and who knows who they're going to bring up from NXT at any time. There's some good tag teams. What are they going to do? They're going to use some of the NXT talent on the women's upcoming the women's championship, and have put them in a storyline or something like that. Who knows? But overall, I said I liked everything. The worst was, if I have to ponder back to the worst, it would be the Lions match, and one of the better would either be Zoe Stark or Roderick Strong and Apollo. Man, both of those were just some banger matches. So anyway, guys, that's going to kind of wrap it up for me. I do appreciate everyone that has sent emails to me and that have gotten in contact with me. I appreciate everybody's kindness, and we're going to try to grow this on up and see what we can do here. But real quickly, I'm a personal plug. It's my daughter Stacy's birthday, so happy birthday! And we're going to just get on out of here, guys. Always remember to rescue if you can. Spay and neuter, rescue if you can. And as always, you know what it is. I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.